Hello, welcome to episode number 388 of the TEW 2020 Challenge Run. We are here in Paris, France, for WWE Evolution 5, Evolution 5, you could say. And yeah, this is the second of our two-night pay-per-view extravaganza coming off last night's King of the Ring in Rome. And yeah, it's all women, all everywhere, you know. Queen of the Ring semi-finals and final. Liv Morgan against Asuka in the SmackDown Queen of the Ring final. Bianca Belair against Shayna Baszler in the Raw Queen of the Ring final. And then the grand final will be those two winners. You got the triple threat match, Rhea Ripley, Sasha Banks, and Kairi Sane for the WWE Women's Championship. And then our main event, the latest chapter in the story of Candice LeRae and Io Sky for the Women's World Championship. I need to double check that we are definitely in Paris. Yes, Paris, Western Europe has been set for our tonight's location. Without any more further ado, I'm looking at last year's show. We've got a decent show to beat. Let's see if we can do it. And hopefully this year's main event doesn't have the winner change on the fly due to injury. Without any more further ado, though, let's jump straight into tonight's show and vive l'evolution. We start off on the kickoff show in front of 73,604 people in Paris when home country girl Violet Martin makes the first entrance in front of the Paris crowd. She gets a big babyface pop. Indy Hartwell comes out, probably getting a heel reaction because she's opposing Violet. And a decent pre-show match. It is Violet Martin in her home country who gets that feel-good win. She defeats Indy in 8 minutes and 10 with a spinning reverse STO. And the funny thing is, Indy's got like 60 pop to Violet's like 35, but because we're in France, I assume that means Violet's more popular in France than Indy. Violet did outscore. And Indy still moaned about losing, even though I think Violet's more popular in France. But hey ho, you know, carny stuff from our Aussie here. 60 for Indy, 62 for Violet. And so I ended the pre-show, but in booking this card in, I'd realised that there had been a tradition that there was a battle royal at every Evolution pay-per-view so far. And they did one at the first one in real life, and I've done one ever since, and the ones have always been to like the winners get a tag team title opportunity at like whatever the next pay-per-view is. Like the first one was Survivor Series, and it's been SummerSlam since then. And I kind of want to keep the tradition going, so we've got a pre-show battle royal where the winners will get the winner will get a shot at the tag team championships with a partner of their choosing. The match consists of Aoi Maikawa, Carmella, Chelsea Green, Deonna Purrazzo, Fallon Henley, Gigi Dolan, Hikaru Shida, JC Jane, Jakara Jackson, Katana Chance, Kaden Carter, Killa Kelly, Lyra Valkyria, Mandy Rose, Naomi, Shantae Washington, Shotzi Blackheart, Sonya Deville, and Zelina Vega. And then, you know, we're going at it. And, like, everybody's getting eliminated. And then the final three are Zelina, Lyra, and Shida. And it's a big thing. You know, Liv's going to be in the Queen of the Ring final for SmackDown. And if Shida can win here, we can only assume that she's going to pick Liv as her tag team partner for SummerSlam. And, yeah, but then Lyra and Zelina do dump out Hikaru Shida. And then Lyra and Zelina Vega are fighting. Obviously, we know Lyra's got Killa Kelly as her partner, but Zelina's not really got a friend at the minute. But all that matters, because there was one name I didn't mention who is a part of this match. I only read out 19 names. Nikki Cross comes out of nowhere and dumps Lyra and Zelina over the top. Lyra falls to the floor, she's out, but Zelina skins the cat. And like Nikki Cross is like hammering on Zelina's hand, like biting her hand, trying to knock her off, trying to get her to fall. But Zelina ends up fighting her way back in. She tries to Hurricane Rana. Nikki Cross to the outside, but Nikki counters it out. She like does like a crazy attack, like pulling her hair and shit. And eventually she does eliminate Zelina Vega. And Nikki Cross, who we haven't seen in, I want to say like 6 months. Last time we saw her, she was partners with Iona Webb before Alba Fire took her away. I haven't seen her since, but she's back here tonight. She's been away somewhere, I guess, and yeah, Nikki has won the Battle Royal in 14 minutes and 7 seconds. So she's going to SummerSlam, I guess, to fight for the tag team championships with her partner of her choice. But enough about that. We then get the introduction video package. 5 years of evolution. Highlighting our 2 championship matches and our 4 Queen of the Ring finalists. And we will kick off the show with Raw's Queen of the Ring final. It will be Bianca Belair taking on Shayna Baszler. No. We won't do that at all because we're starting out with Asuka against Liv in the SmackDown final. Caught myself. Okay, yes. In an 80... I don't know what... I should have looked at what last year's match between Asuka and Liv got before I did this. I know it wasn't as good as that. Yeah. Asuka and Liv in the SmackDown Queen of the Ring final. Winner goes to the grand final later on tonight. And it's 14 minutes and 3 seconds. A big hot opener here in Paddy. And at the end, Liv does submit to the Asuka lock. And Asuka defeats Liv Morgan 14 minutes and 3 seconds to punch her ticket to the Grand Queen of the Ring final for the 2nd year in a row. Last year she was beaten in the final by Kairi Sane. This year she got a chance to win it. Something that Seth Rollins tried but failed to do last night. And she'll face the winner of this next match, which is the Raw final between Shayna Baszler and Bianca Belair. Only gets to 78. Yeah, Shayna's still fairly new back here, and Bianca does well when she's playing off somebody else in this save, but, she's not going to be on my Ring Generals list or anything. But yeah, in 10 minutes, 11 seconds, it is, of course, Raw's franchise player, the EST herself, Bianca Belair, punching her ticket to the Queen of the Ring final. She defeats Shayna Baszler, KOD, 10-11, 69 for Shayna, 89 for Bianca, and yeah, 78 for the match. Sort of bounces, but not correctly, because it would be a 79. I'm not going to get RC for 1 point. But yes, we now know the Grand Queen of the Ring final taking place later on tonight will pit Raw's franchise player, Bianca Belair, against SmackDown's Asuka. We then go to women's tag team action. It gets to 79, This is better than Bianca versus Shayna. Ivy and Tatum are coming a long way, since they debuted as... Probably around about this time, exact time last year, because I remember at Evolution last year it was Ivy and Alexa against Bianca and Nova. So yeah. So in a year, they've come quite a long way. Taking on 2 members of J. Flow, being Tam and Mina. I apparently picked the right 2 members, because they cooked up a pretty decent match here. Mainly Tam carrying... But in the end, it is Tatum and Ivy who win in 12 minutes and 5 seconds. Tatum Paxley pins Mina with the Paxplex, so it's defending number 5 of the women's tag team titles. 71 for Mina, 77 for Tam, 62 for Ivy, and a 69 for Tatum. And yeah, a big defense of the tag team champions. Then after the match, they're jumped from behind by Nikki Cross. Well, one of them is. Just Ivy, probably. And Nikki, starts attacking Ivy Nile, lays her out by that neck breaker. Tatum tries to fight her off.
The evil is mine! Welcome to my playground!
When out comes a very different Alexa Bliss to the one we last saw. She comes to the ring, she's got her hair up. She's not looking all there. And Nikki Cross picks up Tatum and sort of screams in her face and throws her towards Alexa. Alexa catches her, lays her out with, I guess, just a DDT, because there's no reason for her to do Sister Abigail in this world. So yeah, I guess just a DDT. And then her and Nikki pick up the tag team championships and start cackling as they hold the belts up. 89. The only reason I ran this match back in the first place is because it did so well on SmackDown, and it was something for Florence to do on the pay-per-view. And yeah, it delivered. It got another 89. Florence defeats Ruby Riott again, 14 minutes 41 with the Rain Flow. 82 for Florence, 73 for Ruby. And yeah, again, Ruby lost twice, but it is to Miss Money in the Bank, and they have been in competitive, fucking banger matches, so nothing to be ashamed of here, but it is a big win for Miss Money in the Bank here at Evolution 5 in Paris. We then get a video package hyping up the upcoming match, which is for the Liberty Championship. It's AJ Lee challenging her former protege, Roxy Perez. AJ sort of been getting jealous since WrestleMania that Roxy wasn't giving her a shot at the title, was giving the shots to people like Zelina Vega and Miko Satomura, who she said were big influences on her, but never her number one influence. And that all comes to a head tonight. AJ snapped on Roxy, accidentally, quote-unquote, cost her Queen of the Ring. And now AJ looks to claim the championship that she says wouldn't exist if not for her, a championship she never got the chance to hold, because she grew up at the wrong time. 77. I will take that, because AJ specifically has been not doing as well recently, and I will explain why in a sec. Goes 12:45. AJ and Roxy, I imagine, they know each other well because they've spent a lot of time together. Obviously, Roxy grew up watching AJ, so knows her shit. AJ's trained Roxy, like, everything that she knows, basically. And yeah, back and forth. And AJ demands the respect from Roxy Perez, and Roxy, is defiant. Keeps rejecting the opportunity to finally thank AJ for everything that she did. When Roxy knocks AJ down, she goes to hit the pop rocks. And as she backs into the corner, AJ, fakes an injury. And the referee checks on AJ. He's like, what's going on here? And Roxy is sort of concerned because, she does still have that respect deep down for AJ. But she's then attacked from behind by a woman in a hood. 2 of them, in fact, who attack Roxy. And then AJ gets up. She's miraculously healed. She clots Roxy in the face of a Shining Wizard and takes that Liberty Championship. 67 for AJ Lee, 70 for Roxy Perez. And yes, we have a new Women's Liberty Champion. Fun fact is that this reign actually cut short exactly at 99 days. Because it's been 99 days since WrestleMania Night 1. So if there's any other women defending their belt on the show that won the title in WrestleMania Night 1, perhaps in the main event or something, and they lose tonight, that would also mean their reign would come at 99 days. Just a fun little fact. But then after the match, the 2 women who helped AJ could come into the ring and they unhood to reveal they are Kelsey Cook and Anne-Marie Porter of Double Trouble. And they give their thanks to their hero, AJ Lee. They, bow down to her and are grateful to be in the presence of the face of the women's revolution and the new Liberty Champion. So I can now say, because it did actually all go the way I wanted it to, for the last 2 weeks, you probably remember when AJ was wrestling on Raw, I was like, there's something funny about this match, that's why it did so bad. Because I do have the goal that is nobody above well-known can win a mid-card title, and I consider the Liberty title, like the IC and the US title, was the mid-card title for the women. And AJ was a star, and I knew I had to get the belt on her. So, despite winning those matches, I still had to set her to get buried in them. That's why she wasn't doing so well, and that's why the matches were sort of bleh. Including this one, because it really tanked her momentum. But yeah, we're on the back up now. She's well known. Well, she might be a star again now. And she is the new Liberty Champion. They get a backstage segment. Liv and Shida chatting. Shida didn't win that Battle Royal. Liv Morgan eliminated from Queen of the Ring. And Liv goes, I thought tonight was the night. I thought I was going to finally avenge last year, and I thought I was going to go on to become Queen of the Ring in the face of SmackDown's women's division. She's like, it's fine, There's always next year. And Liv's like, no, you don't get it. I can't wait till next year to be a champion. I need to be a champion now. And it's funny because I say I'll be the face of SmackDown's women's division, but that ain't going to be true, is it, Cheetah? She's like, what? And Liv's like, you know what I'm getting at. You know exactly what I'm getting at. And then Liv walks off, and Cheetah's like, oh, I see. Because she does know what Liv is talking about. Do you? 86. Apparently there was still a lack of psychology, so the match had a tendency to drift a little bit, so it could have been even better. An impromptu triple threat match. In terms of matches that weren't planned, that only exist because I had an injury and had to recover, you could do a lot worse than that. Originally, Kairi and Rhea were going to face off instead of where Ruby and Florence faced off, and this would have been Sasha and Julia, but now we're stuck with this triple threat because Julia got hurt, and I had no one else for Sasha. So Sasha, Kairi, and Rhea is dominating both women, you know. Because she's really goddamn Ripley. Mami's dominating this. She looks like she's going to win the title. She hits the riptide on Kairi Sane, but Sasha breaks it up and shit like that. And in the end, Sasha and Kairi do double team Rhea Ripley, take her down on the outside, and then when they're both back in the ring, Sasha catches Kairi with a roll up and rolls her up to retain the Women's Championship in 17 minutes and 5 seconds. 94 for Sasha, 87 for Kairi, 90 for Rhea. Yeah, I didn't want Rhea to eat the pin here, so Kairi's had to eat it, I guess. My bad. And yeah, Sasha continues on as the Women's Champion. I knew this was going to be mid. Again, I can't explain why just right now, but you'll get it come the end of the match. Dakota Kai and Bayley. Bit of a grudge feud on SmackDown recently. You know, Damage Control blew up at Money in the Bank when Bayley tossed Dakota off the ladder out of jealousy. You know, saying that she was in control, and if Bayley couldn't win, then Dakota wasn't allowed to win either. But we're able to find out who really is in control here tonight at Evolution. The match goes 13-23, and, you know, Dakota and Bayley going back and forth, hitting each other. It's just two former SmackDown Women's Champions going at it, you know. There's a reason they came together in the first place. And Dakota goes for a big kick, takes Bayley down. Bayley goes for a big forearm, takes Dakota down. And then they both women get to the each corner. They charge at each other, and they both smack each other in the face with a kick or a forearm or something respectively, and they both fall to the floor. And in that big spot where both women are down, and the crowd's like applauding, waiting to see who will take advantage of the opportunity and who will get to their feet first.
Welcome to the generation of Jade.
When in storms Cora Jade. We haven't seen Cora since, I think, the SmackDown before Money in the Bank. She's sort of just been in the background during this whole thing. And she rushes to the ring. And the referee's like trying to tell her to get out of the ring, but I imagine Cora would shove the ref down. And then attack Dakota Kai, lay Dakota Kai out with that DDT. And Bayley's like, oh my god, yes, I knew it. I knew you'd come back to me, you know. Come here, my best friend Cora, come here, give me a hug. And Cora, like, walks up to Bayley, goes to give her a hug, but then plants Bayley down with the DDT as well. And then Cora just walks to the back, and we get no winner. Cora Jade, you know, refusing to pick a side. You know, if these two are going to fight, why can't she do her own thing? And she leaves both women laying here, and we do not get the decisive winner between Bayley and Dakota here tonight at Evolution. 73 for Dakota Kai, 76 for Bayley, by the way. 76 for the match, because of this weird finish. We then get, like, I imagine we'd cut to like a Peacock ad, and then we come back and Cora's storming through the back. Kayla catches up to her. She's like, Cora, you know, where have you been for the last month? She's like, Kayla, then we cut you off here, okay? What a stupid question. Where have I been for the last month? You know exactly where I've been for the last month, okay? Hurting. Okay? Imagine if your two best friends in the entire whole world started to fight each other, okay, and they tried to make you pick a side. Okay, so for this past month, I've been watching Dakota, and I'm watching Bayley. You know, Bayley, the reason I'm on SmackDown right now is because of her. Dakota, me and her, we became best friends during Damage Control 2. And to pick between my two best friends because they're fighting each other, it's not an easy decision to make, Kayla. But then I thought, why should I have to make a decision? If Bayley thinks she's in control and Dakota thinks she's in control and it all fell apart without me, then who was really in control? We then cut to the ring. Tiffany comes out with Mariah May. And she gets to the ring. She's like, oh my god, guys. Thank you so much for the warm welcome. Okay? Look, I know. Patty. Little me and Patty. It's a match made in heaven. Okay? They may as well call this... They may as well call that, you see the Eiffel Tower out in the background? They call that the Tiffy Tower. Okay? Because now I'm here. I don't want to leave because this place is like my home. Okay? Because everywhere I go, they call this the fashion capital of the world, and everywhere I go, it doubles. Every room I walk into is the most fashionable room, and that includes this here stadium. Now, I couldn't let Evolution come and be the center of Paris' universe this weekend without the center of the universe, you know. Everything revolves around little old moi, okay? And if I don't get to be on the show, then quite frankly, the show's not even worth watching, okay? So, here I am. You're welcome, Paris, or as you like to say, merci beaucoup. Now that Tiffy's in the Tiffy ring, here, I do have other things to get off my chest, like this Queen of the Ring tournament. Like, okay, Asuka and Bianca think they're in the final, okay, but we all know who the real queen is around here, and it's neither of those two, and it's not Charlotte Flair, and it's not anybody else, it's me, okay, because when it comes to being the top of the WWE Women's Division, okay, Charlotte, Bianca, Rhea, Bayley, Candice, Io, Sasha, all of these names are in the past, because you're looking at the future and the now, because everything revolves around me. And if anybody in this women's division has a problem with what I say, come and face me in my city, in my ring, and I'll show you why I am at the tippy top. Party erupts for the second time in 2 years. The man is back from pregnancy at Evolution. Becky Lynch storms to the ring. Big pop. She's got a mic in her hand, I imagine. And she's like just playing around with the microphone in her hand. When the music stops, the crowd's chanting for her. And Tiffy goes, Look, shut up, okay? Nobody even likes French people. Okay, listen here. You can come out here in my ring dressing like this in fashion capital of the world, okay? You don't look the part, okay? I look the part, okay? And you know what? I didn't mention you because I didn't know if you were going to be back here, because quite frankly, nobody needs you back here, but you're the past too, so toodle on out of my ring right now, man. And Becky just all laughs. And she puts the mic up to her mouth. And then just, bam, socks Tiffy in the mouth with a punch. And then Mariah May eats the manhandle slam. And Tiffy probably gets locked in the disarmer as well. Starts tapping out. And then Becky just takes in the cheers. Back at Evolution once again. These pregnancies keep getting very well timed. But, yes. Io's in the main event tonight. Becky's back from pregnancy. We can finally put the nightmare that was Infinity Raw behind us and move forward to SummerSlam in the Tokyo Dome. And 78 is fine for a match with only one good moving part in it. Yeah, it's the trios match: Ava, Ariana, and Charlotte against Danny, Aaliyah, and Skylar. And it is, of course, the Queen's current dynasty, the Royal Dynasty, Charlotte, Ariana, and Ava, who win. Charlotte submits Aaliyah with a figure 8. 49 for Ariana, 60 for Ava, 89 for Charlotte, 65 for both Aaliyah and Skylar, and a 74 for Danny Jordan. And the Queen stands tall. Well, she's Queen for now, because we are about to find out who the actual Queen of the Ring is. But, you know, valiant effort from the former Queen's Court here tonight. But in the end, they all bow down to the Queen Wu. 91. I take that, I guess. There's definitely a lack of psychology, apparently, in this match. Bianca Belair versus Asuka. Raw's finalist, Bianca Belair against SmackDown's in Asuka. Again, like I said, Asuka last year was a beaten finalist when Kyrie beat her in the final. Bianca wasn't in it last year, but she's already the franchise player of Raw. So she'll be hoping to add the Queen's crown and become the royalest member of the Raw Women's Division. Sasha Banks, a woman she's got a lot of history with. They main evented WrestleMania against each other, 2 years ago. And, in 1728, the winner and the 2023 Queen of the Ring is Asuka. She pins Bianca Belair with a spin kick in 1728 to win the Queen of the Ring tournament. So Asuka and LA Knight, are your King and Queen of the Ring this year. Both receiving championship opportunities at SummerSlam in the Tokyo Dome in 4 weeks' time. 94 for both Bianca and Asuka, and the psychology sting took the match down to a 91, but it's fine. We move. We can't complain of a 91, I guess. But now, all that said and done, now the way. Patty, it's time for the main event. A video package recapping the history of Candice LeRae and Io Sky. From back in 2019, the heel turn, all that shit, to now. And as Cammy has been saying, there's been one constant so far. Every single time these women step into the ring. And that's that Io picks up the win. But now Candice is the world champion. Main event at WrestleMania, won the Royal Rumble. This is a new and improved Candice LeRae. Who will leave Paris as the women's world champion? 93. There we go. We love that. 20 minutes 35. Banger final match between these two women. Well, not final match, because they might face off against each other at some point. But, Candice, I've made a point, when Cammy first came out for this match. She has sort of, in some of her big defenses, despite being the babyface champion, skated through her victory. Utami, back in Judgment Day, she beat herself, basically. She was having a bit of a rough period. Then we had the whole saga of Liv Morgan and Hikaru Shida. I mean, she did beat Bayley fair and square back at WrestleMania and back at, on SmackDown before Judgment Day. But Candice has sort of got to step up her game if she wants to defend here tonight, and she does. You can see that she's, trying. This is, a completely unrecognizable Candice LeRae for the one who, was defending against Liv Morgan, for example. I guess these two women just bring the best out of each other. I probably should have set them to have excellent chemistry. They just have neutral chemistry. And Candice finally has Io beat. She hits that neck breaker off the top. And then she goes to hit the lion salt. She jumps up onto the second rope, goes to hit the moonsault off the back, when Cammy sprays something in her eyes, blinding the champion. She falls down. Io will then hit the air raid crash, and Io Sky goes up top and hits the big moonsault. Death taxes, and Io Sky defeats Candice LeRae. New Women's World Champion. 99 days. Candice held the fort down even during a period where SmackDown had no World Champion. So, valiant effort. Very good run. But in the end, it all comes back to the genius of the sky. 96 for Io, 88 for Candice, 93 for the match. And then I imagine, Io is celebrating. She's holding the title up high, Cammy's in the ring, gifting her the belt. And she stands tall in the middle of the ring, here in Paris.
Your destiny's written all over the sky. You can fly. I'm reading the thoughts that take over your mind.
when out storms the new Queen of the Ring, Asuka. The Empress of Tomorrow makes her way out. And she gets into the face of Io. I imagine, like, Asuka's in, like, she's not in the face paint and shit, she's in, you know, like, not face painted Asuka in, like, the funny shirt with the weird makeup, like, yeah, not the clown paint. You know, just casual attire Asuka. Maybe even wearing the crown and cape, because Asuka would probably wear it. I don't do, like, the full king or queen gimmick all the time, but I do imagine Asuka would probably incorporate it into her attire, because she seems like the kind that would. LA Knight, but yeah, Asuka would. And then we end Io holding the championship up high, and the Queen of the Ring, Asuka, laughing in her face. They're shouting at each other in Japanese off mic. And the announcement that, ladies and gentlemen, we are 4 weeks away from SummerSlam in the Tokyo Dome, both women's home country. We now know the main event of that show. Io Sky will defend the Women's World Championship against Asuka. And then, well, that is the end of the show. Like, the graphic pops up and the show goes off the air. But that's not all I want to go through here tonight. Because, I would imagine, like, what the situation would be is they would air a highlight video package of, like, the history of the 5 years of Evolution, and then, like, going through the match we saw earlier on tonight. And then when that ends, we cut back to the ring, and Candice is, like, she's finally getting back to her feet. Because, you know, I don't want to just make her, like, irrelevant right out the gate. So we need to give her her flowers after the show. Like, I guess it's technically post-show, and it would the whole thing would definitely air on digital if it is, like, some of it gets cut off. But she's in front of the crowd's applauding her, getting "Thank you, Candice" chants. She's, like, on the verge of holding back tears, you know, thanking the fans basically for being there and helping her get to the top of the mountain on SmackDown. When she's jumped by the 5 women from Next Gen. Kathy Cool, Tracy Sharon, Nene Yarizawa, Samantha Riggs, and Lucy Stryker jump over the barricade and beat up Candice LeRae. Who can run out and help? I imagine at least one person. Johnny's not here, obviously, because he's not in the back, because he's not a woman. Liv and Shida was my first go-to answer, but they sort of got angry at Candice. I guess Florence, Lyra, and Kelly can be the ones who run out and, like, check on her after the attack's finished. But in, like, a post-show angle, the former Women's World Champion has been left laying by those 5 rapscallions from Next Gen. They did say that, you know, you'll never know when we'll see them again and they're going to make an impact. What better impact than attacking right at the end of the all-women's pay-per-view? 99 rated show. We take those. Yeah. A lot of shit in store for SummerSlam and beyond started on this show. I think we did actually learn 2 SummerSlam matches tonight. We learned the main event, obviously, and the Nikki Cross and Alexa against Tatum and Ivy match. But I guess that's technically not official yet. But still. Anyway, what matters more than that is what you thought of the show. So do let me know what you thought in the comments below. And I'll see you next time for Raw, where we will officially begin the road to SummerSlam in the Tokyo Dome. And don't forget that huge main event of that show. The Raw Tag Team Championships will be on the line as Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre challenge AJ Styles and Finn Balor for the belts. See you then.